Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, Roota.com. Today is the last day to get your silver Ruda coin. We give these away to private road members for subscription or renewal. So if you want your silver Road to Ruda coin for your collection, for your stack, today's the last day. It is September 6th, Wednesday. At midnight, this ends. Midnight Pacific time. So, if you want to renew, go for it. If you want to buy a new subscription, great. Tomorrow we will be giving away a cryptocurrency that's so hard to get, especially if you don't know how to play with cryptocurrencies, but I think will be extremely important. It's the cryptocurrency a lot of crypto peoples love to hate. That would be Veritasium. Yes, we're giving away one Veritasium starting tomorrow. So today's the last day to get your silver Ruda coin, and then tomorrow the Veritasium token. And we'll talk more about what Reggie Middleton has done by securing a patent in the United States for peer-to-peer transactions using cryptocurrencies, and 2 patents in Japan for the same thing. The reality is, when the system crashes, we're going to need a new way to run every single exchange on the planet. That's why this is so important. That's why the patent offices they granted Reggie the patent, even though the SEC has put him in purgatory. And 98 million of the 100 million Veritasium tokens are literally in limbo. Yes, in limbo. The insanity of what the SEC allows and the court allows versus what they did to Reggie Middleton, because Reggie Middleton's model takes the banks out of the equation, takes all the brokers and dealers and bullshit. You know they lie. You know they are not settling these transactions. They are so confused as to who owns what, and I'll get to that in 1 second because it's really important. Who owns your assets? Who owns your house? Who owns your car? Who owns your stocks, your bonds, your metals? In this crazy legal framework that they set up. And let me give you a hint. If you have any debt on anything, you don't own it. And when they shut the system off, you have no claim to it. Because you can't pay. You can't pay your payments. I don't care how rich you are. You bought into the system. And everybody's going to lose except those with legal title to the assets. We all know who they are. They're the same people who want to kick me off of YouTube. All right. So yes, today is go to roadtoruda.com. Click subscribe today. You can do a renewal there or buy a 1-year subscription to the private road. Get all the backstage stories of what's going on behind the scenes, and what's going on in front of the scenes is yes, the silver riggers were able to get the price of silver below the moving averages. So right now they are covering as the criminal tech traders, or the brain dead tech traders, are getting out of their longs and they're going short. Same damn story every single time, and you can see it very clearly here. As you see, why is it going down so much, Bix? Right here. These are the 3 moving averages, the 50-day, 100-day, and 200-day moving averages right here. So they got below the 200-day moving average, which was 23.44, and we'll puddle down here. You've seen it how many times in the past? A zillion times in the past. It just puddles around down here while all the criminal banks who shorted into the rise, JP Morgan can't do it right now until the 25th of September. So we have a date when full massive rigging kicks in. I think they're going to try to get rid of all the large shorts from the commercial side, give them to these idiotic, tech traders, and then allow the price of silver to run. And when they do that, bar the doors, because these tech traders are not going to be able to close out their shorts. All the criminal bankers, that's exactly what they're doing. This is the last gasp of their manipulation game. And then they're going to want the price of silver to run sky high. And it will. They will put so many tech traders out of business. Remember, when you go short anything, you are risking 100% of... If you go short anything, you're risking more than 100%. You have infinity losses. For example, let's say I'm a tech trader. I just saw, oh my God, they went below the moving averages. All my tech trades say, I'm going to put a short on in silver, right? Then you wake up after the 25th and your short's at $23 and the price of silver is at $230. You just lost your entire family fortune, or $2,300. Shorts have unlimited losses. Unlimited. Just keep that in mind as you're loading up on your physical. Why do you think we scream in your own possession only? In your own possession only is the only way to survive what's coming. And what's coming, I'm going to show you a great book what outlines a lot of it. Not what the good guys are doing, but how the bad guys structured it so that they can steal all the assets on the planet. Or at least all the assets that are in the system. That's why you have to get it in your own possession. All right. So yeah, it's silver. Great time to buy, obviously. I don't know. Premiums are probably going up as they slam the price down. Again, the U.S. Mint has kicked up production of Silver Eagles. Amazingly, we'll see how long that lasts. But, 3 million ounces last month is shocking. Shocking to anybody who's been in this game for the last, pretty long time, since they started allocating Silver Eagles. Especially in the reign of Biden and Ventris Gibson, Janet Yellen running the show. They told the head of sales at the U.S. Mint to stop selling Silver Eagles. He said, I can't do that. They said, what's the minimum you can do? And they were doing 900,000 coins a month. And all of a sudden, everybody was screaming about it, yours truly especially, and everybody made a difference. All of a sudden, last month, they were able to do 3 million coins. How is that possible? What changed in the market such that last month, we can create Silver Eagles more than 900,000 a month? They are criminals and they need to be exposed, and that's exactly what we're doing and you're doing. Tell your friends to buy as much physical silver as possible. Nothing in SLV. My God, no mining shares too. No mining shares. No PSLV. They are all going to be snagged from out of your hands. You're so close to understanding the monetary system, and they will be snagged out from under your hands. I'm going to talk about that in 1 second. But right now, get as much silver as you can. As you know, I've been looking forward to tomorrow's FDIC meeting, the quarterly meeting. It starts at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. In this meeting, they will reveal a massive decline in value of the bank's assets. Wall Street on Parade put this out today. Study finds 75% of U.S. banks did not hedge interest risk. Unrealized losses on securities, $516 billion at the end of the first quarter. So, by the way, the announcement by the FDIC tomorrow is the second quarter. The 516 didn't even come close to showing what the real losses are, because since then, in the second quarter, the amount of short-term U.S. debt put in the market made yields just go crazy, literally, which destroys the value of the underlying asset. So we are going to see much bigger than 516 billion. 516 billion is a shocking amount. Let me show you a graph of it. So this is what the FDIC will put out tomorrow. You see this right here? The biggest quarter so far is it would be the end of the third quarter of 2022, but no one was looking at it because the banks were fine. All the banks are fine. And then all of a sudden, Silicon Valley Bank went down in a heap of crap because they didn't hedge their interest rate risk at all. They had like less than 0.3%, which is crazy. Even the big banks only hedge about 30% of their interest rates. But that's the other thing. You got derivatives on interest rate swaps, and all those have counterparties. So that is the crux of what we're looking at happening throughout the rest of this quarter, which is the end of the month, and the rest of this year. Everybody and their mother are going to be looking at the bank saying, what have you done? How stupid are you? But the reality is no bank can survive in a fractional lending system. Your money's in Joe's house and in Sue's house and the factory down the street. You're not going to foreclose on them. I know people who will foreclose, and they are the owners of these assets, the ultimate legal owners of these assets. I'll give you a hint. It's not you, and it's not even the banks. All right. So that's what we're looking at tomorrow. I see this little line here going past the minus 675. If we even get close to $1 trillion in losses, that would be extremely shocking. It might. I don't think it'll get that far until this quarter, the third quarter. The third quarter, as we know, interest rates are going through the roof. The Fed's going to have to keep raising, or we're screwed. It's like we're screwed if we don't, and we're screwed if we do. So if it's not this report when all the banks crash, which I think a lot of the banks are going to see a lot of problems and people start asking questions, people will be running to their banks. So make sure you get your money out of the bank, please. Please. Pretty please. All right. So that comes out tomorrow at the FDIC. They already warned us last quarter that this was going to happen. So just be careful. Cliff High sent me this and said, read this book. I read it. Well, I use a on my phone. I have it's called Natural Reader. So I'll put a PDF into my phone and I can listen to it at double speed and stuff like that. So I didn't read it, but I listened to the entire book. Having been in finance for 25 years, having been in this position since 2000, that's 23 years. Yes, I'm that old. There was a lot of overlap when I was doing Road to Ruda and working in the banking world. And then finally, I just couldn't take it anymore. I said, all right, it's full-time Road to Ruda. I knew a lot of this stuff, and a lot of it has to do with how to perfect security on an asset. Meaning that if the underlying asset, the loan on it, the lease on it, whatever it is attached to that asset fails, what are the steps? What are the layers between you and getting that asset back? That was a lot of my job, actually, in the banking world. I was dealing with these massive leases on mining equipment. It was like, okay, I turned into a repo man if they didn't pay and all that stuff. But it's all about perfecting assets is what they call it. Meaning that you put an asset out on lease or you have some title somewhere down the road. Can you get it so that you don't need anything to happen? You have the automatic ability to go in because they missed their payment, go in and take the asset or take legal ownership of the asset already without the hassle of going through bankruptcy courts and without going through anything. That's what these people, the controllers of our lives, that's what they want to do. And they created the DTCC, Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, to do just that. So if you have a mortgage on your house, it is not owned by you. It is not owned by your bank. It's not even owned by the DTCC or the mortgage-backed derivative that is put in. It's not even owned by the DTCC. It is owned by Seed and Company. And we've talked about Seed and Company for a very long time. That is how these criminals who control the world gain access to ownership of your asset. Now, let's just say you're halfway through paying off your house and your bank goes under. And you're like, well, I have money. Or the entity that holds your house goes under. I have money I want to pay, but my bank's closed, so I can't pay anything. Then they come and seize your house. They being the rightful owner, which it's not even the DTC, it's Seed and Company. Now, in the 70s, they did a study on who is Seed and Company. I mean, the government did the study, and they found out who it was. It was an individual. Some people thought it was the Queen of England. Some people thought it was some alien force. Some people thought... They didn't tell us. Of course they don't tell us. They don't tell us anything. But the whole idea is perfecting the assets you have out on loan, on lease, have any attachment to. My take is that with the vastness of a monetary collapse, nobody's going to seize any assets. If you hold it, you got it, and you protect it with a gun. There'll be no DTCC police coming after you, no Seed and Company police coming after you. It's like they say if just a couple banks go down, yeah, they'll bail them out. If they all go down, it's the banks that are in trouble. And then it gets to who owns the bank assets. Seed & Company has legal ownership. They call it the street name, which is ridiculous. There's no one in the street. These people don't hang out in the street. So there's a book called The Great Taking. Go to thegreattaking.com. Great book, and it shows you how these criminals have perfected their collateral. It goes through, just let me show you the table of contents, and you'll get an idea. Some of you know this, parts of it, but this guy was like in the middle of it. So an actual guy who was doing this stuff and who saw it happening and had billions and billions of dollars and didn't like what he saw and knew that he'd probably be killed if he ever came out and told everybody. But he has come out this year. So read it, The Great Taking Introduction. Dematerialization, security entitlement, harmonization, collateral management, safe harbor from whom and what, central clearing parties, the bank holiday, the Great Deflation. The Great Deflation, there is a high likelihood when the banks collapse, there will be a great deflation because everything will pop. There's no money in the banks. There's no ability to bid on gold, silver, cryptos, stocks, bonds, anything. And all of a sudden, what do you need? That's why keep it in your possession. There will be a time where we don't know the value of anything. And then a conclusion. Read this or get a if you have on your, I suggest on your phone, if you're watching this YouTube video, it means you like listening to things or watching this mug. And you can put me on double speed. Put me on double speed. Double speed. Yeah, I listen to everything on, not double, 1.5 usually. But yeah, get this app. It's a reader app. It's called Natural Reader if you don't have one already on your phone. And then it'll read PDFs. So this is a PDF. You can download it. It will teach you everything you need to know about the behind-the-scenes attempt to take possession of all humanity's assets. And they are way down the line in doing it. Ultimately, that's the goal, is to take all the assets of the planet and then leave a couple people to serve these masters, whoever they may be. So go check that out. Great book. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. And it's written by a good guy, and the morals in it it strikes you as like, that's the right thing to do. This is the right time to say this stuff. The right time. Okay, so let's say we're there. We're at the Great Taking. The Great Taking will be the destruction of the banking system, the collapse of the markets, the collapse of everything, the shutting down of the system, probably caused by the derivative implosion. Then what? Then we got two ways to go. We can give them everything and have them, make the rules for our future, go with the CBDC and have the bad guys take over, or we can stand up and say, that's it. We've had enough. I think in the United States, that's exactly what is planned. From the Road to Ruta documents, that is what is planned. We will return to a gold and silver monetary system. It won't be easy, my friends. It will not be easy. But then we have to start up exchanges again. And all the criminals who caused this problem were trading on the exchanges. So we can't have the same kind of exchanges. We can't have massive derivatives. And we won't have them. We won't have intermediaries between you and your money. There will be no DTCC. There will be no Seed & Company. There will be no JP Morgan. There will be no Charles Schwab. There will be no Fidelity. All of them will be taken out and gone with the crashing of the system. So when you restart the system, you don't want to put the same structure or the same people back in the same spots. What can you do? Dun, 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 dun. Here's a patent for Veritasium, which facilitates peer-to-peer transactions. You don't need JP Morgan. You don't need Bank of America. Now, will Reggie Middleton's invention be honored by every country? Well, he's got a patent in the U.S. Will even U.S. law be able to be enforced? I'm so surprised they gave him this patent, because this is what the bad guys want. The bad guys want to take over Veritasium. If this was a JP Morgan patent, they would have never thrown the creator in jail and did what they did to Reggie Middleton. So I think the good guys have a plan for Veritasium. And that plan is to make peer-to-peer transactions viable and part of the new system on exchanges. So, yeah, we'll have the same stocks and bonds and all that. They'll probably be very differently valued. They'll be valued in the new more money, if you ask me, gold and silver coinage. So it ain't going to be easy. But I think the potential becomes very high for Veritasium, the token. Now, the patent is different than the token. But Reggie has promised for those token holders now, if he gets his 98, especially if he gets his 98 million coins back. Remember, they're in limbo. They took them, but they haven't done anything with them. And nobody's been paid out by the trustee in charge of this. It's just sitting there. So I would expect them to give Reggie the 98 million tokens back, and we go on from there. Reggie said, even if they don't, when Veritasium is implemented, he will be able to offer discounts for those who have tokens of the 2 million that are left trading. Anyway, the reason I'm saying all this is because we will be giving away Veritasium tokens starting tomorrow with every private road subscription and renewal. They're very hard to get. If you're a crypto guy, yeah, you can go on Market Talks and try to buy it. Not much money to jack the price or destroy the price. So, like all cryptos, it is heavily rigged, probably more than others. So be wary out there. But yeah, we'll be giving them out on a paper wallet mailed to your front door. All you have to do is take it, shove it into your safe, store it well, and it's like a lottery ticket. You wait and see what happens. If the system collapses and we don't want to turn back to the old system that was the massive part of the problem, rehypothecated assets by all these criminal banksters, there's one option for us, Veritasium. All right, that's what I got for you today. Lots of action all month. A lot of it's going on behind the scenes, and we won't even see it, unfortunately, but it will come out in due time. I am a couple dates I'm looking at. Obviously, tomorrow is the FDIC meeting, or the announcement, the quarterly banker report for the second quarter. Banks should be heavily underwater. Then it goes from there. Monday is 9/11. Interesting that Joe Biden's not even going to be in the continental U.S. He's going to be up in Alaska for 9/11. Don't even ask me. We have a fake administration doing fake things. So this might be a really big weekend. This Friday might be really big. Monday, obviously, 9/11. In 2008, 9/11 was the day that the good guys tried to pull all the money market funds out, 500 billion left. We're hours away from the entire system stopping. Are they going to do it on 9/11 again? I don't know. Seems like a right time to me. And then the 25th, there's other dates, but the 25th is when JP Morgan 3-year deferred prosecution agreement expires. So that's why you're seeing this slam down right before that happens, so that the banksters, the friends of JP Morgan, can get out of their short position and go long for the takeoff of silver if the system stays together. Lots to think about. So many different variables going every which way, but that's what we got on Road to Ruda. Again, roadtoruda.com. If you want the silver Ruda coin, go to subscribe today. And today at midnight is the last day we'll be giving them out. So go check that out. This is Bix. I will talk to you later.